Lawyer Mark Silverthorn used to work for collection agencies. Now he helps people faced with abusive debt collectors.
It's maybe 25% of collectors who work at collection agencies are engaging in illegal, unprofessional, or unethical behavior.
So really the specialty of law we're talking about today is something very close to my heart, something that I also am dealing with day in and day out, and it is debt.
That's correct.
Mark, I wanted to kind of first and foremost kind of introduce not only as a lawyer but also an author. Mark actually has written a book called The Wolf at the Door, where he describes a lot of the processes, a lot of the implications of dealing with collection agencies, debt collectors or creditors, and I wanted just to kind of talk a little bit about that as well. So besides being a full-time lawyer, you're also an author, and I want to kind of talk a little bit about how that book right here helped you to push your career forward.
Sure.
So let's talk a little bit about timeline. So the book has been written for about, I think it's about 9 years. This was published in 2010.
Correct.
And the idea for the book came obviously from your practice.
Well, I have to go back and give you a little bit of my background. Is for 12 years, I was a collection lawyer.
Oh, so you were on the other side of the barricade.
I was one of the bad guys.
Okay, all right.
And I had an epiphany. My 8-year-old daughter asked me what I did for a living. I asked my 8-year-old what I did for a living, and she said, "You send letters to people saying pay their bills, and if they don't pay your bills, you put them in a garbage can."
Okay.
And I said to myself, "Is that really what my life is all about?" And so it wasn't that much longer that I decided not to represent creditors and collection agencies anymore, and I thought I would take all that knowledge that I'd gained over 12 years and use it to help consumers who are struggling.
So for 12 years, you were actually you're working for a different law firm, I assume. Is that correct?
Well, I've always had my own law practice, but for a 12-year period, I believe from 1994 to 2006, I worked almost exclusively for 4 of the largest collection agencies operating in Canada.
Wow.
And my law office would be physically located on the collection floor. So I would open my office door and there would be anywhere between 50 and 100 collectors outside my door. And I would work on a daily basis with the owner or the president or the collection manager or the IT person or the HR person. I'd have lunch with collectors. So I really, got to know what's going on underneath the hood. And that really puts me at an advantage helping consumers because I've got all that insider's information.
That's amazing. Mark, thank you so much for coming today.
My pleasure, Konstantin.
Real pleasure talking to you about the debt industry and your journey into your business. This was your host, Konstantin Polyakov.